Hard to believe, but this is real fresh bread sealed inside a glass jar, no refrigerator, no freezer. Just flour, seeds, water, salt, and yeast. That's it. This is a forgotten preservation method our great grandmothers used in the 1930s. The exact technique American homesteaders relied on when bakeries shut down and flour was rationed. Today, I'm walking you through the full process step by step. And at the very end, I'll show you the one mistake that ruins everything. Get it right, your bread lasts a year. Get it wrong, it molds in 3 days. This is easier than it looks. And once you've done it once, you'll never buy supermarket bread again. I'm starting with the yeast. 1 teaspoon of dry yeast stirred into 300 milliliters of warm water. Be careful with using water that's too hot here, as it will kill the yeast. Set this aside and let it bloom for 5 to 10 minutes while we build the dry mixture. Now for the dry ingredients. This is where the nutrition density comes from. 230 grams of whole wheat flour, not white flour. I'll be honest with you. White flour is one of the worst things to come out of the modern food industry. White flour is stripped, bleached, missing the germ, which is exactly where the nutrients and the natural oils live. Whole wheat keeps everything intact. Fiber, B vitamins, iron, magnesium. It's heavier, denser, and far more nourishing. Depression-era families didn't have the option of bleached flour, and that's a big part of why their bread fed them for so long. 60 grams of ground flaxseed is one of the most important ingredients in the entire recipe. Flaxseed is loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, lignans, and soluble fiber. Here's what most people don't know. Ground flax also acts as a natural binder. It absorbs water, forms a gel, and locks the dough into a tight, dense structure during baking. Without it, your jar bread crumbles when you try to slide it out. 50 grams of sunflower seeds, 50 grams of pumpkin seeds, 50 grams of sesame seeds. Depression-era families understood something modern shoppers forget. Seeds are one of the most efficient calorie sources on earth. Pure stored energy in tiny packages. Pumpkin seeds carry zinc and magnesium. Sunflower seeds bring vitamin E and selenium. Sesame seeds are loaded with calcium and copper. Together, they turn a simple loaf into a nutritionally complete survival food. Salt to taste. Don't skip the salt. Salt isn't just for flavor, it controls the yeast, strengthens the gluten network, and acts as a natural preservative. Every bit of salt is doing a job. Now pour in the bloomed yeast water. Stir and combine. This is how the dough should look. Heavy, slightly sticky, dense, holding together. Cover with foil and leave it in a warm place for 60 minutes. The warmth lets the yeast work, the flour hydrate, the seeds soften so they bond into the structure of the dough. 60 minutes later, the dough has risen and developed character. Knead it gently for a moment, just to redistribute the yeast and tighten the structure. Now the jars. This is where the magic happens. I'm using wide-mouth glass jars. Wide mouth is critical. A narrow neck means the bread won't release cleanly when it's done. It'll tear, it'll stick. You'll be standing at the counter with a butter knife cursing at a jar. Trust me, I've done it. Use wide mouth. Coat the inside of each jar with oil, whatever neutral oil you have on hand. Be generous. The oil does 2 jobs at once. It stops the bread from sticking, and it forms a thin barrier that helps the vacuum seal later. Now fill the jars halfway with dough, not more. Halfway. This is non-negotiable. If you overfill, the dough rises during baking, pushes up into the lid area, and destroys the seal. Halfway gives the dough room to rise and leaves a clean rim for the vacuum to form. Press the dough down lightly to push out any air pockets. I'm using 1 smaller jar, but you can use whatever sizes you have on hand. The method is identical. Wipe the dough off the walls of the jar above the fill line. Wipe the rim of the jar especially. Any crumb, any smear, any speck of dough on that rim means the lid won't seal properly later, and the bread won't last. Clean rims are everything. Let the jars rest in a warm place for 20 minutes, one final rise. While that's happening, preheat the oven to 200 degrees Celsius. The oven must be fully at temperature before the jars go in, or the seal won't form correctly. After 20 minutes, brush the top of the dough with a thin layer of your oil. This gives a soft golden crust and helps the loaf release cleanly later. If you're enjoying this so far, hit that like button. It genuinely helps this forgotten knowledge reach more families. And drop a comment below telling me what country or state you're watching from. Now, place the jars on a cold baking rack before sliding them into the hot oven. This gradual heating helps prevent the glass from cracking. Bake at 200 degrees Celsius for 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, the bread is baked. The kitchen smells incredible, and the jars are dangerous. Put on protective gloves. The glass will be hot enough to burn you on contact. Take them out carefully. While the bread was baking, I had the lids simmering in a small pot of boiling water to sterilize them. This step is non-negotiable. Skip it and you trap bacteria right under the lid where you can't see it. Now, the storage secret, and this is the part most people get wrong, which is why their jar bread molds in 3 days instead of lasting a year. While the jars are still hot, and I mean genuinely hot, not just warm, screw the sterilized lids on firmly. As the bread and the hot air inside cool, they contract. That contraction pulls the lid down and pulls a vacuum inside the jar. No oxygen, no moisture, no bacteria. That vacuum is what gives you 12 months on the shelf. If you wait too long and seal them cold, no vacuum forms. The bread breathes, mold finds it. The whole batch is gone. This is the one fatal mistake. Having a few jars like this in the pantry is genuinely useful. One afternoon of work, and you've got real homemade bread ready whenever you need it. Let the jars cool completely on the counter. Then move them to a cool, dark, dry place, a pantry, a cabinet, a cellar. Darkness and stable temperature are what protect the seal. The jar has cooled, and this is my favorite part. Let me show you what's inside. The smell is amazing. The bread slides right out of the jar in one clean piece. Look at this. Firm crust, dense interior, packed with seeds. The aroma is unbelievable. Roasted wheat, toasted seeds, a hint of yeast. Looks and smells like it came out of the oven this morning, not weeks ago. So what's actually in this loaf? Complete plant protein from the seeds and the whole wheat. Omega-3 fatty acids from flaxseed. Vitamin E and selenium from sunflower seeds. Zinc and magnesium from pumpkin seeds, calcium and copper from sesame seeds, B vitamins, iron, fiber, lignans, healthy fats, no preservatives, no additives, no chemicals. Real bread made from real ingredients, sealed by science, ready to feed your family when nothing else is on the shelf. Each small jar holds roughly 800 to 1,200 calories of dense, complete nutrition. 25 to 30 grams of plant protein for muscle repair and sustained energy. A full spectrum of B vitamins for nervous system and red blood cell function. Iron and zinc for immune defense and tissue repair. Magnesium for muscle and nerve health. Omega-3 fats from flax for heart and brain function. Vitamin E from sunflower seeds, one of your most powerful fat-soluble antioxidants. Selenium for thyroid and immune support. Calcium and copper from sesame for bone and connective tissue strength, soluble and insoluble fiber for full digestive health. No bakery, no factory, no preservatives, just flour, seeds, water, yeast, and salt, sealed in glass and saved for the day you need it most. You spend one afternoon in the kitchen and walk away with months of real bread sitting on your shelf, waiting. Your great-grandmother would be proud. Thanks for watching. Next week, I'll show you my favorite survival bread made with a potato starter, so make sure you're subscribed. See you then.